Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust, episode 581 of the series. As we exit the previous episode's hidey hole, secure it, because there are times, and there have been times, where unwelcome folk, solicitors, soliciting death and explosions upon us, have taken it upon themselves to let themselves inside of our previous night's hidey hole. I'm talking about creepers. But we're not going to allow that, so that's why we block up the hidey holes every night, or every morning, I suppose, every beginning of the episode. And then we continue on, like I said, with episode 581 of Farlands or Bust. For your... Hey, speaking of solicitors, no soliciting! No Oh, he's going the wrong way. Oh, okay. I've successfully gave him the old St. Louis sidestep. All right. Well, look at all this skeleton residue. We're making a profit here. All right. I don't need the bones, so let's get rid of those and continue on. Like I was trying to say, let's continue on for your Thursday, April 7th, 2016. Whoa, Wolfie, whoa, Wolfie. Let's not spawn right in front of me. Ooh, look at all these red mushrooms. April 7th, 2016, our Child's Play charity fundraiser over at farlandsbus.com is currently at $31,368.47. That is 52% of the way to our $60,000 goal. $60,000 goal here for Season 6 of the series. Of course, Child's Play charity, helping get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. You can learn more about them and their mission at childsplaycharity.org. But our mission has been to support that charity since June of 2011. So we're working on yet another 5-year anniversary. As June quickly approaches, very surprisingly quickly approaches. It's already almost mid-April. What the heck? Time flies when you're doing the same thing for the past 5 years. No, jokes. Yeah, farlandsorbus.com. Keep donating to Child's Play charity, and look at this amazing landscape that we have out in front of us here. I didn't realize. Oh Lord! Watch your step. I didn't realize I was this high up on a hilltop. The altitude, the air's getting thin up here. I'm starting to feel a little dizzy. Let's try to find a way down. This isn't safe at all. Ha! Oh, well, that didn't work. I tried to place the block before I dropped, but the block did not drop before I dropped. When you do donate, by the way, to Child's Play charity, you can leave a comment. There's a comment box, and ask a question. I will see that comment box, what you enter in there, and add whatever questions may be to my notepad here. I have a fancy little notepad, like a text document, not an actual notepad. Whoa, that pig went flying. That pig protruded quite perturbedly. Diddly. Hey, diddly. Yeah, I'll add it to the notepad and answer it in a future episode of Farlands or Bust here. That's good. I will let that pig live to tell the others as a warning. But yeah, did I get the question? Does everybody know about the questions? You can ask a question and I'll answer it. Whatever it may be. Maybe. There are off limits things, but whatever it may be, I will do my best to answer it in return for your generosity to Child's Play charity, or you can just donate and not leave a question. That's totally fine. It's totally fine indeed. You know what else is totally fine? Space, rockets, and whatnot. And I have a launch alert for you. This Friday, at 4:43 p.m. Eastern Time. That is 2043 GMT. SpaceX is launching yet another Falcon 9 rocket, this time with a Dragon resupply capsule going to the International Space Station. So tune in. They usually carry those on NASA TV, since they are technically NASA missions going to the International Space Station. But they are also available at what is it called? SpaceX. SpaceX.com/webcast, I believe, is the address for when they're live streaming. All right, well, I meant to go down there, but I went back up. Things turned out a little bit differently than I had foreseen. I am no fortune teller. Wolfie, there he is. So yeah, watching those live is always good, and also on YouTube. They also live stream them on YouTube, and also they carry, I think they call it just like a technical broadcast, where they don't include any of the commentary. They normally have their own SpaceX. These are like people who work at SpaceX, like they actually have jobs other than broadcast person. You know, they're engineers or technical people or whatever that kind of commentate the broadcast. Well, they get a little bit overbearing every now and again for those of us who are very used to the launches, and we have all kind of a basic understanding of what's going on. It's helpful to know all the science and the engineering behind everything, but if you just want the straight up pictures of the rocket on the launch pad and the countdown, and you just also get the radio calls, the technical radio calls, you know, the go, no go, blah blah blah, then the technical webcast, which is on YouTube, the SpaceX channel YouTube, is one I've watched the last couple times, so that's neat. And yet again, they're planning on landing, or attempting to land, this Falcon 9 first stage, I believe on the barge, which is surprising. I thought that the International Space Station resupplies could return back to the Cape to land on the land, but I think they're attempting another barge landing, which they keep getting closer and closer. It's a little bit of a tougher nut to crack, I guess, because as we already know, they successfully landed on the land with the first stage of a Falcon 9, but I think they're doing it on the barge this time. Things like weather and speed and just being slightly off, or the landing leg not being fully deployed. Unfortunately, that one time would have stuck to landing, but one of the landing legs folded in upon itself. They're gonna try that again, so that's something else to watch. That's something else to watch indeed. Although unfortunately, live views of that tend to be a little bit sketchy, since this is an uncrewed barge out at sea. So that'll be interesting. So yeah, keep an eye peeled. And actually, I will be live streaming, because it's again Far Lands or Bust Friday. I'm recording Saturday's episodes of Far Lands or Bust live on Twitch. Maybe, what time would that be? 4, 3, 2, 1. That'd be 1 p.m. my time. 1:43 p.m. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to get on a normal human schedule and like stream early. That's never gonna happen. Or we'll open the live stream by watching the launch together, and then we'll do the Far Lands or Bust episode. Who knows? Not even me, and I'm the one who's supposed to be in control of these things. Oh man. As the sun sets here, I have a very generous donation came in from Fajitas Command. Fajitas Command. Now, first of all, he's commanding me to do something here, or they're commanding me to do something here. This is not typically what I do, but this was a very generous donation, and instead of a question, they have a request, so I'm going to kind of fulfill their request. They have asked, I'd like you to sing, without accompaniment, No Scrubs by TLC, and then they gave me the link to the lyrics. I will do such things like the first half of the song, but I will not sing it. I will simply say it in my standard Kurt J. Mac monotoned, kind of as if I'm reading a poem in Eidolons. So here it goes. As the sun sets, this is great timing to do this. No Scrubs by TLC. A scrub is a kind of guy who thinks he's fly, and is also known as a buster, always talking about what he wants, and just sits on his broke ass. So, no. I don't want your number. No. I don't want to give you mine, and no. I don't want to meet you nowhere. No. I don't want none of your time, and no. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a kind of guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out of the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a kind of guy that can't get no love from me, hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. Eidolons. Eidolons. Oh, man. Let's go to sleep and continue in the morning. And no scrubsness. No scrubbity-dubness. Scrub tub? Oh, man. All right, and then that's the last time I ever take one of those requests. But continuing on, I do have actual questions here from donors to Child's Play Charity. Like this one from Ryan H. I'm sorry, Ryan. Did I say Brian? I felt like I started with a B there. I meant Ryan H. What would your most useless superpower choice be? What I mean by useless is that while it would be neat or flashy, you couldn't exactly become a superhero with it. A good example would be to choose whether or not you can understand the language being spoken. Not only can you understand languages you know, but if someone is being annoying to you, you can just ignore them and completely by making it so you don't understand them. I see. Weird question, I know, but I like it weird. Oh, ladies. Ryan H. likes it weird. Useless superpower. I'm pretty sure I've got quite a few of those already. Useless superpower. So just like a superpower that would be of some use, because that is of some use, but only like personal use, not like to save kittens and burning buildings or anything use. Or spinning the Earth on its axis the wrong way to reverse time, which is clearly what happens. What would be my most useless superpower? I'm trying to think of like things I need to get done or something like that. The ability to very quickly fold laundry, like the Flash, just like as I take it out of the dryer before it hits the bottom of the bin, the basket, the laundry basket, it's folded. Just pow! That would be convenient to me and me alone, and there's no way I could ever use that talent to save anyone's lives or stop an evil superpower and getting a Steam notification. Stop sending me Steam notifications. Exiting out of Steam right now. Okay, that's getting annoying. Why are those things enabled? Probably because I'm not playing a Steam game. Nuts to that. Sorry about that. Everybody's checking their computer. Oh my god, I just got a Steam notification. I don't have any friends. What are you doing? So yeah, let's do that. That's a pretty useless one, and I just came up with it off the top of my head, and I feel like that was a good answer, so I'm sticking with it. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Folded laundry man. No wrinkles man. There we go. No wrinkles man. Oh. Alright, well, this has not turned out to be the greatest of situations I've gotten myself in. Whoop, and just throw the dirt on the ground. That's what you wanted. Alright, there we go. Jeez. That was a laborious way to round this mountain, wasn't it? Cold Within asks, what's the most fun you ever had in the snow? When I lived in the Chicagoland area, I shoveled my driveway and made a fort. I'm sure everybody did that. I remember making quite a few forts with the remnant shovelings of the snow up on like the side of the road or the corner of your drive or whatever. Yeah, doing that or like making tunnels under the snow mounds was always fun. I mean, sledding was alright as well, I guess. I didn't do that much sledding, I guess, but sledding was alright as a kid in snow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never done anything unusual. I don't have an interesting story, or like this is something I'm sure you never did in the snow. No, it was just forts, tunnels, and whatever. Probably, I guess. I think. I don't know. Why not? Let's go with that. So, I mean, like, I haven't ever, like, purposefully driven in the snow around, like, an empty parking lot or whatever and done crazy cool drifts or anything like that. And I've never done anything like that. I don't have any fun. So, yeah, I mean, I would probably say the same thing. I remember in the backyard making, like, a train tracks, but with the sled. So I would like drag the sled around behind me to make the tracks in the snow, but then I would like make it all complicated and a bunch of like switcher tracks and like crossovers and stuff. Because at the time I had a model train station in the basement, so I was all very much into that. That's kind of something of a different thing. This is all by myself, so I didn't have anybody to pull me around or anything like that. So it was just a train. A snow train set in theory only, not in use. But yeah, that's all I could think about. When was the last time I've seen snow? Is another question I'm going to ask myself here. Probably since I moved here. Because I went back in December, but it hadn't snowed yet. I mean, it had, but it all melted by the time I was there, I think. So yeah, since I moved, and maybe even before then, I don't even know. Before I moved in November of 2014, I don't think it had snowed yet. So it was probably the winter of early 2014, late 2013 was the last time I saw snow. Craziness, craziness indeed. I mean, I see it every now and like we can see it from here. Some of the mountains on the horizon around Phoenix will get snow on the peaks and stuff like that, but I'm not in it. I cannot feel it. I cannot touch it. The snow will go untouched. Whoa, watch it. Phil, oh, is this the same Phil from England? Phil asks, if you could redesign one room in your home and cost wasn't a concern, what would it be? What would you improve? Living room with a fireplace, comfy furniture, a big TV, kitchen with fancy appliances and finishes, make a bathroom spa with features to relax in. Spa features. Probably my office, because it is in a constant state of clutter and disarray and unorganization. And I put together 2 shelves that I bought last month and still have not put anything on those shelves. Aside from miscellaneous papers and tax documents and junk that's piling up, chargers for phones I never own anymore, and I'm just in a constant state of disarray and unawareness. I'm completely unaware. But yeah, probably the office, because it's where I spend most of my time. The rest of the house I'm actually okay-ish with. Probably the office, and I would, A, make it a bigger room, and B, I would probably do a better job of making it an actual workstation recording studio, what with sound consideration, little egg crate styrofoam on the walls, and I'd actually get proper, not janky lights for stuff, and so yeah, it would be the office. I feel like I got a similar question recently, but it was about if you were given $100,000 to upgrade a room, what would you do? And it was betwixt the office and the garage. Because then I would just upgrade the garage to be like a mechanic's garage, and then I would have money left over to actually fill it with a couple automobiles of my choosing. So yeah, that's very very similar questions you guys are answering. But yeah, I think that was either last Friday or 2 Fridays ago. I remember that was a live stream that we answered that question. But thanks, Phil, again for your donation. Weekend Game, if we want to, asks, what is your opinion of bourbon? I heard somewhere it's becoming popular in a similar way as to whiskey. Well, here's going to be a little bit of a problem with the way we're using these words. Weekend Game, if we want to. Bourbon is a whiskey. Whiskey is kind of you know, oh, careful, Wolfie. This is kind of like a trunk on the tree of alcoholism, on the tree of spirits. Whiskey. There is Scotch whiskey. There is, as you mentioned, bourbon whiskey. There's rye whiskey, and then there's there's even further down branches you can take to blended Scotch versus single malt Scotch. There's Canadian whiskey versus there's Irish whiskey. There's just variations on the theme there, and they all have their little separate rules. Like Scotch whiskey has to obviously be made in Scotland, and there's certain rules even within them, and there's different types within there depending on where they're made, where the source is. Same thing with bourbon whiskey. I believe has to be aged 2 years. There's like a law. There are literal laws that say in order to be considered this type of whiskey. Ooh, quick, Wolfie, picture time. He's not going to be in front, but yeah, there's the sun. The sun is coming through the hole in the rock there. No, you're too close. You're too close, man. There we go. Boop, boop. Oh, that thing was in the way. Oh, there we go. Boop. Stop hiding behind the weeds. Oh man. So yeah. So your question is I'm sorry that I'm kind of nullifying it there, but I've always thought that bourbon whiskey was probably simply the most popular as far as like sales are concerned, simply because it's the most common. Your Jim Beams, your what's the other one that I really don't like? Jack Daniel's is bourbon whiskey. Your Wild Turkey, the affordable, the cheap, the easy to find whiskeys are, in America anyway, typically bourbon whiskey. Let's go to sleep and continue whiskey in the morning. And a whiskiness. So yeah, it's a little bit of a confusion of terms there, I do believe. I do declare. I'm not sure about your mentions of the popularity or not. I actually think that Scotch whiskey, I've read is having such a kind of a resurgence that's why it's getting more expensive, and there's actually like shortages now or whatever. Same thing with rye whiskey is getting a little bit what with the hipster whiskey aficionados have discovered rye whiskey, so rye whiskey is actually starting to rise in popularity, but I think bourbon whiskey is certainly just simply if you're looking at the pie chart, by pure pie chart volume, is still the most drinking whiskey of them all. But yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Bourbon, I usually don't. I wouldn't drink straight or anything like that. Bourbon is good for your old fashions, or even just on the rocks or whatever. But then again, I've also come to be preferring hipsters. A rye whiskey in an old fashioned, and then instead of an orange, you use a lemon, and that accompanies the rye whiskey. It's a little bit drier, less sweet. It is kind of leaning towards sort of Scotch is sort of types of Scotches. Not really, but yeah, and then there's the Scotch or whatever. But this has been a presentation of, you know what, actually, I can actually make a channel recommendation here, and I also support him on Patreon. What's his name? Ralphie Stuff, I think is his channel name, if I remember, and I won't, but I'll put, the McDonald's logo. I'll put his channel in the video description. I'm sure I mentioned his channel before, but he basically mostly reviews various scotches, because I think he's actually in Scotland, but then he also does have like very educational, informational stuff about the different types of whiskeys and their origins and how to drink them and how to find a good one. I mean, he's also done series on rums and tequilas as kind of separate, but with the same vein as your Scotch whiskeys or whatever. And I've just found him to be an all-around, that's like a good YouTube channel. He's doesn't have millions of subscribers or anything like that, but is, done a good job with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos of just this one topic. Very specialized, that's what I was looking for. A very specialized channel that I feel does a really good job. And I'm sure, yeah, like I said, I'm sure he has a video explaining all the different types of whiskeys. I'm sure there's got to be. So there we go. That answers that question. Let's see here. Whiskey. An anonymous donor asks if I'd be interested in playing Firewatch. It's an exploration game with a nice story. Maybe it did fare under your radar. What? I don't understand that second part of that question, but I've seen it. I seen it. I looked at it, and it seems interesting. It seems maybe I should just play it. It was one of these games that everybody was super excited about and anticipating, and then everybody played it in a couple hours, and now you never hear about it anymore. Once it first came out. Although I think they are contemplating or working on a multiplayer mode. Maybe I'll play it if that ever is a thing. But yeah, it reminded me a bit of walking simulators and exploration games that I like. But then again, it had the kind of the what I'm referring to, possibly falsely, the telltale type of make your own adventure. People talk to you and you have to choose between 3 responses, and that affects the storyline or whatever. And I've never been a fan of the point and click and whatever type of nature of those types of games. It seems like a very, as opposed to Eidolon, which is very loose and very open world storyline, no particular direction indeed. It seems like a very linear, directional, despite being open world, it's a very linear storyline, it seemed like to me. I've watched a few people, just glanced in on their streams of it or whatever. So it seemed interesting. Maybe we'll see if that multiplayer thing does at all ever happen, and maybe we'll have to check it out then. Similarly, there's one. What's it called? The Long Dark? Is that? No, I don't know. That's what it's called. It's like an exploration. Yeah, I think that is what it's called. It's like an exploration survival game that reminds me, it's between, and they're working on a story mode. I think it's between Eidolon. As far as the very simplistic, almost casual survival game, and then I don't know, what's a survival game that's super difficult? 7 Days to Die, The Forests. It's really technical in a lot of this. It seems like an interesting halfway point between that. So that's another one I'm keeping my eye on, I think, but I don't think it has. I think it's just sandbox mode right now is all that really exists. The last I saw, so I think I'll wait for that to develop a little more as well. But yeah, I see all these games as the same as you do. Usually, there's some of those you guys let me know about, and I'm a little bit surprised that they I missed them. But yeah, that one I saw, but not huge. Not that's not one I'm ooh, gotta play. But yeah. Flip Walker 42 asks, I know you back up Flob every episode. Talking about the world? How often do you back up your other series? Also, do you back up your raw produced videos, or do you trust YouTube not to lose them? Oh, you're talking about the game saves. Yeah, Farlands or Busts, I back up manually before I record every episode. It also gets automatically backed up in my automatic backup schedule. Maybe not nightly, but depending on what happens, maybe nightly or every other day or something like that. Every update, and then it gets backed up to the cloud. To the cloud! How often do you back up your other games? Never. When I was playing Kerbal Space Program, I lost the save once because of the error that happened when you upgraded Kerbal Space Program, and then it did very bad things to your save file. So I remember losing a save. So after that, I started backing up my Kerbal save, but that's not an issue anymore, obviously. But I don't back up other games because they're mostly all run on Steam. Minecraft is kind of the only game I play now that doesn't run off of Steam. So Steam, theoretically, always syncs to the cloud, and I'm also not really playing that many, if any, other games that require, like a long-term save or anything like that. A lot of one-off videos, or a lot of games that really don't matter that much. I was worried switching to the new computer, losing that stuff, but I really just copied everything from my old games folder to my new one. On the new computer, and everything worked out just fine and dandy, dandly doodly doodly. All right, Ned Flanders. So yeah, I mean, I guess like something like Dirt Rally. Do I have to worry about losing all my progress in Dirt Rally? Do I have to worry about losing all my progress in Eidolon? Maybe. Maybe I should be backing those up. I don't know. It's just a lot of the time with these games, they tend to hide the saves. And then there's a lot of them that end up making thousands of folders in your My Documents. And it's like, no, this is not where I want you to be saving my progress in My Documents. These are not the same things. Keep them separate. Keep My Documents separate from your saves. But how are we doing for wood? I guess I can use a little bit. So let's chop down this tree. I don't back up the raw footage. That would be crazy. But I do back up my rendered videos. But I have lately, I used to back up every single one, but after running out of hard drive space the 15th time, I've decided to be a little bit more relaxed about that stuff. Like, say my channel gets nuked, and it gets wiped off the face of the earth. Am I really going to go back and try to resuscitate my Limbo gameplay from 2011? Am I going to try, is it really a tragedy that nobody can watch that one time I played Battlefield 1942 as like my 5th video ever? Do I need to go back even as far as say 2 years ago when I played, trying to think of a game I played 2 years ago. Even something like the Tomb Raider reboot. If I lost all of that stuff, would it really matter? Probably not. I think the vast majority of the views that happened there. And if those disappeared, that's fine. So what I do back up, essentially, is just Farlands Bust. So yeah, I have 581 videos backed up. Oh wait, this is the end of the episode. I'm not making an elevated hidey hole. Let's make an actual hidey hole. Jeez. I just keep the backups of all the videos of Farlands Bust, because this is a series. Sure, nobody watches episode 217 or whatever, like that gets maybe like 2 views a month, but just to have the archive is worth it enough to keep those backed up. So those are the ones I back up, and the rest I just I keep them for like the year. So like I have pretty much every video, maybe even 6 months, every video since June 2014 or something like that. But as I require more hard drive space, I'll delete the non-essential. I'll just delete the non-essential series videos, and just hope nothing happens to my YouTube channel. I mean, I don't know why I would need them again. I think the relevance of the videos on YouTube is more important than a lot of the archive. I mean, there's some video. One of my, if you just want to know about like earnings, I'm not gonna tell you specifics, obviously, but the sinking simulator. I just made boats. Speaking of sinking simulator. My most what I make the most money on YouTube. Still, I have all these new videos coming out, but sinking simulator still earns me more in ad revenue every month than any other video that I put up in that month or anything like that. People really like Sinking Simulator, I guess, because it's a game that existed and doesn't exist anymore, and not that many people caught on before it disappeared, I guess. I don't know why, but yeah. So I don't know that I might have kept that video. Stuff like that I might have kept too, and like the UHC season 3. That's good to have in the archive just in case, because that was a pretty important thing, nostalgia wise, anyway. So. But yeah, thank you for all these questions. Some interesting ones here today. I'm gonna go fold my laundry super slow, unfortunately. And while I do that, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and go to farlandserbus.com to keep donating to Child's Play charity. Almost, just over the hump of the halfway mark to our $60,000 goal for this season. I do appreciate the continued support. My name is Kurt. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time. Just pow!